Record-long government shutdown continues to drag on with no end in sight. Travelers are getting ready for what could be a nightmare at airports across the country tomorrow. Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis. In just a matter of hours, the FAA will reduce flights at 40 major airports across the country, and Phoenix Sky Harbor is one of them. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is at Sky Harbor right now. And Chase, how many flights are delayed right now?
Mark, we're seeing several right now here at Sky Harbor. Take a look at the board right here. Not only do you have delays like this, but we're also starting to see some cancellations pop up. It's for several airlines, and it's pretty much every single board you look at for departures. You're going to come across either a delay or a canceled flight. Now, this all really started to pop up about 3 hours ago because that's when there was a reduction in staffing. And according to tracking site Flight Radar 24, 27 flights have already been canceled for tomorrow. Now, tonight I spoke with a former air traffic controller who talked about the impact this government shutdown is having on those essential workers. When checking into your flight, it's a word you don't want to see.
That's pretty frustrating because we have plans back at home.
Delays lighting up next to several flights headed out of Phoenix, including Zach's flight to San Antonio.
First, it got delayed from 7:54 until 8:09, and now it's delayed to 8:40.
We spoke with another Zach who says while his flight isn't delayed at this time, that doesn't mean he's resting easy.
All of the stuff that's been happening is just causing a lot more stress than it otherwise would have been.
These delays and cancellations the result of the FAA reducing the number of flights by 4% on Friday with a 10% reduction by next week. A situation Tim Kiefer, a professor at Embry-Riddle and former air traffic controller with 22 years experience, has never seen before. And he's been through a shutdown or two.
I was working during the 2019 35-day, which at the time was the longest shutdown.
He knows exactly what these now unpaid air traffic controllers are going through.
You cannot pay the rent sometimes. You cannot pay for the babysitter. You can't pay for food. And that is an additional stress to the air traffic controller that they don't need.
However, he believes this reduction is necessary.
They're trying to maintain integrity in the system and maintain the highest level of safety to try to basically slow down the problem.
Even with this drastic change, Kiefer says people shouldn't be worried about flying.
Air travel is still the safest mode of transportation, and if you get on an airplane, whether it's now or over the holidays, it will be safe.
Which does bring some relief.
I just want everyone to take a deep breath, especially me, because I need to take a deep breath.
So if you are flying out tomorrow, be sure to check in on your flight status to see if it is delayed or canceled. But pretty much every passenger we spoke with said a big concern for them coming up is what this is all going to look like for Thanksgiving. We know it's one of the busiest travel weeks across the country. When I was speaking with Kiefer, he says it's usually a time where airlines add additional flights to make up for that heavy flux of passengers. But he says if this shutdown's still going on, that's not going to happen. And he says these delays and cancellations will continue on through that time.
Feel bad for people who have to fly and are in that situation, but you know who I feel worst for? The air traffic controllers. They've been working nonstop without a paycheck. Same for TSA. Is there a chance or a concern that air traffic controllers could eventually organize a system-wide strike?
You know, I did ask Kiefer about that to see if it is at all possible that, they could go on strike. And he told me that's actually illegal. It's against the law for them to go on strike. He cited back in 1981 when there was a strike for air traffic controllers. And the president at the time, Ronald Reagan, actually said it was illegal and fired all of them. So he said, no, air traffic controllers cannot go on strike. Now, he did say that if they do get too mentally overwhelmed, we know it's an incredibly stressful job. He says that they are encouraged to take time off if they are feeling that stress. But as far as a strike, he says that, they have to be there. They have to have a log of coming into work. So he says that a strike isn't really possible because it is against the law, but it is possible that some of them may be taking some time off just due to that mental stress.
Boy, what a headache. All right, Chase, thanks.